Okay, we're trying to solve long lens issues with the mirrorless systems, and this is one of the areas that I'm kind of leaning more towards DSLRs. Here's where this all came from, is a gal named Ann asked us if she's going to Africa, is there a long lens that's going to work with her GH2, GH3? And we said that we weren't real fond of the Lumix 100 to 300 for multiple reasons. I said it was not a good lens. I got pounced on it from a couple of chuckleheads about it, but whatever. That's just my opinion, and that's where it is. So what I did was I went and got one of the Olympus long lenses, and this is an Olympus 75 to 300. And I thought I'd just give you a little quick review here because I'm trying to find a solution for Ann. She does have DSLR or access to Pro DSLR, or 70 to 200, and I don't even know if she's got a 300 f2.8. But she doesn't want to carry all that weight to Africa to go rolling around taking pictures of tigers and lions. I hear you. I couldn't agree more. The question is, if this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Africa, I want you to get great pictures, and I'm not sure you're going to get great pictures with a mirrorless camera and a long lens if you need something longer than the 35 to 100 Lumix lens. That is a fabulous lens. But I'm not a fan of the other Lumix. I don't know why am I backpedaling here, the 100 to 300. All right, this guy here, this is not super expensive. I do have a bunch of problems with this lens. First problem is this lens hood is really a piece of crap. The construction of this, not so great. The image stabilization, I don't even know if it has any. The camera is struggling to try to help with this whole thing. It is slow, meaning it's maximum aperture. So here's what I did. I'll put up on the GH3 progress page a series of photos. Now I shoot JPEG, and I'm going to shoot in typically square mode when I do lens tests like this. I don't care about the corners as much. I just want to be able to drop into one specific spot and see if it's going to autofocus and see how well it behaves. For some reason, this lens throws the auto white balance on the GH3 camera for a bit of a loop. So I also tested it on my Olympus EPL3, and I did not notice the problem. So let's take white balance out of the mix. I flipped over to a set white balance, the cloudy day white balance, because cloudy day in Chicago. And I put it into aperture priority mode, and I forced the aperture wide open, and I was shooting at aperture somewhere around 6.7 for the majority of these pictures. Now, I ended up getting some pretty decent pictures, don't get me wrong, but not that I'm the world's greatest photographer, particularly not with a long lens. I really had to work at this to get it to work. I wasn't happy with the way the video turned out, and in fact, when you take a close look at some of these photos, take a look. You'll see that the AF tracking mode, the camera was trying to track that movement of the dog. Well, it could not keep up, and I don't think that that's the fault of the camera. I think this is just a slow lens. It's slow to respond. It is sharp. I think the color is fine, but its autofocus better than the Lumix for whatever reason, 100 to 300, at least from what I'm seeing here. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, if I had to choose between taking a full-size DSLR to Africa for a once-in-a-lifetime shoot or taking this lens, I would definitely go the DSLR route. And just to make some of you knuckleheads just as angry as all heck, I'm going to put this lens in the don't buy category. Really, I don't want to own this thing. And in fact, before you go to Africa, if you'd like to test this lens, I guarantee you I'm not going to use it. So you're more than welcome. Now, on the plus side, I will show you some images that I did. In fact, I just made a nice big print. A lot of times, here you go. Right? Okay. This is one of the images that you can see on the webpage there, and this is how we do it, right? We back everything up with real prints. If we can take a 24 by 24 inch print, JPEG, no RAW, no post-processing, this is straight from the camera. And when I take a look at it, I see it did correctly focus on, this is Maya's eyes, and I have a very usable print here. I really do. It's got all the detail that it needs. Unfortunately, I had to shoot it at ISO 2500 in order to get this lens to behave. Well, that's a problem for most mirrorless shooters. There aren't very many cameras that are going to work at ISO 2500 when I'm working outside on a cloudy day. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with it. Maybe a better photographer than I would have better results with it. So I I'm going to thumbs down, and unfortunately on the long lenses. I'm not going to give up though. I'm going to try one more. I am going to try, by the way, taking the Lumix 35 to 100, and I'm going to use the you know, that silly focal length multiplier that's in some of the higher end cameras. I'm going to turn that on and see if I can't double that focal length, and of course throw away a lot of resolution. But let's see if we can make that work, because that's an f2.8 lens, which is going to probably save everything. It's going to give you that shallower depth of field, and I want to try to get you a solution. But as of right now, the solution is don't go with mirrorless. Go with DSLR. Don't believe what some of these other naysayers, like that big poop Alan, was ripping on me for the whole lens thing. I think that's so funny. Okay, back to Thanksgiving. Bye.